I'm looking for Lord Gandon. Where do I find him?
His lordship's in the chamber at the moment, sir.
Oh, really? Now, would you be kind enough to give him this and say that Mr. Drake is waiting?
Well, I'll try, sir.
Thank you.
Freddie! You, my boy, you! Aren't you Freddie?
I beg your pardon?
The son of the 13th Earl?
I'm afraid not.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Could have sworn it was Freddie. Spitting image.
Really? I'm due to speak in the debate in 10 minutes, Mr. Drake, so I'd be very much obliged. Shall we sit down, my lord?
There are you security people.
Well, make it short and to the point.
It's about the Arsenal leakage again, I suppose.
Yes, it is.
Now, look, I made my report about that, and I stated perfectly clearly...
I thought you wanted to make this interview short.
I don't think I like your attitude.
Would you tell me who you spoke to and who you met from the time you left the cabinet meeting on the 12th until the time the story appeared in Pravda on the 18th?
I spoke to no one about the Arsenal affair. I gave the PM my word, and he was pleased to accept it.
So I understand. Now, about the people you met from the 12th, please.
I thought Special Branch had gone into all this. Oh, very well. On the evening of the 12th, I dined with the Right Honourable Lucy Dent Wells. We went to the theatre afterwards. Do you want to know what we saw?
That won't be necessary.
We ran into Seymour Hood, and we had drinks afterwards.
Seymour Hood?
The commander, RN. Thursday, I spent with my colleagues at the Foreign Office. Early in the evening, I played squash at the Vale.
Who with?
Blunt. Blunt. He's the pro there. I went home early, and the following day, Friday, I went for a long weekend with the Jordans. Their chateau on the Loire. You know the Jordans?
I'm afraid not.
Basil Jordan was at Eton and Oxford with me. Claudia, his wife, must be one of the richest women in the world. She inherited the Wormsley chemical fortune.
Is that the tape on Andrews?
Yes.
What was the date of this interview?
4th of August. Is there a time?
I don't know. We'll soon find out.
No, that's not true. I went to my dentist first in Harley Street. Let's see, where does that take us?
That takes us to Friday the 16th.
Ah, yes, I wangled a week's leave, so Claudia sent her plane to fly me to her chateau on the Loire.
Claudia?
Claudia Jordan, married to Basil. Charming chap. Was with me at Oxford. The double blue. Yes, I went to stay with the Jordans that week, and I certainly told them nothing.
Andy, book me on a flight this evening.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to find out what makes these Jordans so fascinating. Basil and Claudia.
Supper door because I happen to like her voice. She's got a voice like gravel on sandpaper. And this I find attractive. Huh? I mean, of course, if you object, I'll deny myself. I'll deny myself, as I always do. Because in this relationship, you have the power to make the decisions. Haven't you, my angel?
Mr. Basil Jordan's residence?
A telephone call for Monsieur Ross.
Speaking.
Mr. Ross? Ah, now, you don't know me. My name is Drake, John Drake. I'm staying at the Hotel Amboise. I'd like you to come round and see me, if you would.
Might I inquire the purpose of such a visit, sir?
Oh, I think you'll find it's to your advantage. Are you an inquisitive man, Mr. Ross?
Not particularly, I don't think, no.
Good, good. That's an excellent quality in a manservant. Shall we say between 3 and 4, then?
Really, Mr. Drake, I'm not at all sure that...
Fine, fine. Between 3 and 4 it is then. Oh, and incidentally, don't mention this conversation to your employers, will you? Hello, this is room 5. Would you send up a pot of China tea for 2 at 3:30, please?
Oh, good afternoon. You must be Mr. Ross.
Yes, yes, I am.
You're expected. Go straight up, room 5.
No, thank you.
Come in, it's not locked. Ah, hello, good afternoon, Ross.
Afternoon, Mr. Drake.
I'm so glad you were able to get away. They do say that Mrs. Jordan can be somewhat of a difficult employer.
Well,
You can speak openly in front of me, Ross. I do apologize for not getting up, but I had some soup de poisson last night, and it made me feel rather squeamish.
oh, sorry to hear about that, sir.
Yes. The maid's just brought some tea, so it's quite fresh. Would you pour me a cup and help yourself at the same time? You see, I took the optimistic view and ordered for 2. Do you stay here all the year, or do you move about with the Jordans?
Oh, I travel with them, sir. I wish I did stay here. This is the place I'm happiest, Mr. Drake. Paris is chaos, Rome beyond belief. I quite like Tangier, but even that's deteriorating. Anyway, we only stay there for a month. Milk, sir?
Yes, just a little in my tea, but I like my coffee black. There's a rumor that Mrs. Jordan is one of the world's wealthiest women. Do you imagine that's true, Ross?
It may well be, sir, but I make a point of never discussing my employers. Sugar, sir?
It's nice to know you don't tattle about them. No sugar in my tea, but I like 1 lump in my coffee.
I'm afraid tea is never satisfactory in this country, sir.
No, I'm afraid not. Thank you. Would you pass my cigarette case? It's on the dressing table over there.
However, the coffee's some consolation, don't you find, sir?
Yes, I have a particular penchant for Turkish myself.
Ah, my last employer, Lord Dunning, drank nothing else.
Then you must make it very well indeed, Ross.
Oh, I don't know, sir.
You're just speaking with suitable modesty now, aren't you?
One finds one's way about things, sir.
Yes, one does, Ross. One does indeed.
Mr. Drake, what on earth am I doing here?
Ross, can you press a silk shirt?
Yes, of course.
I want you to be my man. Leave the Jordans. I have a ticket for you for London on the midnight flight from Paris tonight.
But I can't possibly.
I'll give you a cash advance, say, of £150. I know that Mrs. Jordan isn't the most generous of employers, and that, in fact, for some time, you've been considering moving from them.
Well, that is true, sir, but...
$1,500 a year, several evenings to yourself, and at least every other weekend completely free.
But I can't possibly leave at a moment's notice, even if...
Well, you must have a mother, a brother, a relative of some kind?
I have a mother living, yes.
Yes, mothers are sometimes prone to sudden afflictions and the need of a son's presence. You'll find me an easy master, except in the small things.
Well, your offer, Mr. Drake, is most generous. But...
You lead a very tranquil life, Ross.
Yes, but your approach, it's so sudden and rather...
Disconcerting?
Well, yes, sir, that is the word I was looking for.
You're going to make me an excellent manservant, Ross. Excellent.
How did you hear that there was a situation available?
By one of those curious quirks of fate, I ran into your man Ross at the airport last night.
Ici, Claudine, ici. Voilà. So you've actually talked to Ross?
Yes, he explained the position, the unfortunate illness of his mother.
And then you're an opportunist, Mr. Drake.
No, I don't think so, ma'am. I just happen to be fond of France.
Do you have credentials?
Lady Bassington would possibly, though I'm sure...
Well, call her on that phone. I'll have a word with her.
It's perhaps not a good idea, ma'am.
Voilà, parfait, parfait, merci. Perhaps yes?
But Lady Bassington is a little eccentric, ma'am.
Well, if she's too eccentric to give you a good reference, I'm afraid you're no good to me.
I thought...
Oui, c'est parfait, parfait, merci. You thought, yes?
I thought that if I wrote to her ladyship, you see, she reacts badly to the telephone. She still regards it as an intrusion on her privacy.
Come in.
Good morning, Mrs. Jordan.
Good morning.
The chef would like your approval of the menu for this evening.
Yes, let me have it. Lady Bassington lives in Belgrave Square, doesn't she?
14 Belgrave Square, ma'am.
Coleman, would you get me Lady Bassington's number?
The number is Belgrave...
From the London directory, please, Coleman.
It's a cable from Max, darling. He'll be down for the weekend.
That's nice for you, my love. What happened to the Sudaka crisis?
I have no idea.
What time did you get in this morning?
Oh, 1:30. It wasn't very late.
Why do you bother to lie? It was 3:20.
Yes, I'm not in the mood for a slanging match, my love.
Is that Lady Bassington's residence? I'm calling for Mrs. Basil Jordan. Will you hold on, please? Thank you. Mrs. Jordan?
One moment, please. London, madam.
Yes, hello? Who am I talking to?
John Vere. I am Lady Bassington's secretary.
Oh, yes. I wonder if Lady Bassington would be good enough to give me references on Mr. Drake. I'd like a word with Lady Bassington herself. It would save a lot of time.
I'm afraid her ladyship's in the country at the moment, Mrs. Jordan. But I imagine I could arrange for references to be sent to you.
I take it Mr. Drake did work for Lady Bassington.
Yes, he did for some considerable time.
Would you say he was honest? Reliable? Good at his job?
Drake's work was, I would say, never less than satisfactory.
I see.
Lady Bassington, at no time, to the best of my knowledge, had cause for complaint.
Why did he leave her then? Yes, why? That's always the revealing factor in these cases, isn't it?
Yes, I imagine it is, Mrs. Jordan. As far as I know, Drake left her ladyship quite amicably, by mutual consent. Drake wanted a more lively atmosphere, I imagine.
Oh, I see. Well, would you ask her ladyship to send me references addressed to me here, Chateau Monac, Loire?
Yes, Mrs. Jordan, I'll try and arrange that.
Thank you, Mr. Vere. Goodbye. Well, Drake, I'll give you a month's trial, subject to satisfactory recommendation, 1,000 francs a month. Come in.
Excuse me, madam. May I take it you approve of the menu for this evening?
Yes. Oh, Coleman, this is our new butler. Would you be kind enough to show him his room, introduce him to the chef and the rest of the staff, and acquaint him with his duties?
Certainly, Mrs. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Quite pleasant.
Yes, I shouldn't imagine there are many servants who have an original Dufay in their room. There's a Rouault in my room. In fact, the whole place is full of impressionists. The only trouble is you won't have the time to appreciate them.
Who keeps one hopping about? He or she or both?
She. Of course, she may make allowances in your case.
Oh, why's that?
Mrs. Jordan, well, you'll find out.
And Mr. Jordan?
Oh, no, he's very easygoing. Yes, the female is the deadlier of the species. She keeps him on a very tight lead, doles out his money as though he were a beggar. And that's why you'll have to be careful of her meanness. If she finds one of her bottles of wine in this room, you're out.
Oh, really? Is she likely to come in here, then?
Only when you're not around. It's the same with all the servants. Look, if I may give you a bit of advice.
Certainly.
Don't flatter her.
Really? Why not?
Well, she suspects that everyone's after her money.
Including her husband, apparently.
Especially her husband.
They seem to have a sort of hate relationship.
Yes, I suppose you could call it that. Look, could you finish the rest of your unpacking later? I have to go out, and I'd like to show you around and introduce you to the others.
At your service, Mr. Coleman. Lead the way.
Jordan, sanctum sanctorum. The door's kept locked. You only get in there by invitation. Look, I have to go into town now. Can I get you something?
No, thank you. Who's the guest coming this weekend?
Max Dell. He's an old school friend, chum of Jordan's. Comes here quite often. No trouble at all. Are you sure I can't get you something?
No, thank you very much. I'll go and finish my unpacking. Vernon. Vernon?
Are you hearing me? Come in, Vernon.
Yes, Drake, loud and clear.
Find out everything you can about Max Dell.
Believe connected with the Foreign Office. Discover how he is connected with the trouble in Sudaka.
We'll contact the agency immediately. We'll be standing by from 10 to 11. Understood?
Understood. And out.
I was admiring your shooting from my window, sir. If you don't mind my saying so, you're an excellent shot.
Oh, I don't mind a bit. I'm afraid I've forgotten your name.
Drake, sir. John Drake.
Drake. Do you shoot, Drake?
It used to be a hobby of mine, sir, yes.
Oh, do you want to have a go?
I wouldn't like to presume, sir.
Oh, cut out that polite stuff, Drake. My wife likes it, but I don't. Just give him a nod when you're ready. There's one in the choke.
How nice of you. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Yes, sir. Nod. Thank you.
I admire your style. Where did you shoot before?
On a private estate, sir. I imagine that was luck, actually.
Have you never shot in competition?
No, sir.
Oh. Well, I'm very impressed. Anyway, I tell you what, Drake, we put up 4 each and have a little bet on it.
Yes, I'm not really in your class, sir.
Oh, yes, you are, Drake.
How little is a little bet, Mr. Jordan?
Well, just enough to give it spice. Say, what, 500 francs?
A spice to you, sir. It's a fortnight's wages to me.
And I always know a gambler when I see one. Now, you take the other one. It's the same weight. You have the gun and the honor.
Yeah. And you have the advantage, sir. Thank you. Very much. Right? Your turn, sir, I believe. Good.
Well, 100% each.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
I suggest we go on taking alternate shots.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, what is it, Martine?
Madam would like to see you, sir.
Oh, I was afraid she might. We'll have to finish this some other time, Drake.
Yes, all right. Martine.
Sir?
Yes, the, guest who is arriving.
Mr. Dell?
Yes, what room is he in?
The White Room, Mr. Drake.
Come in.
You're asking for me, madam?
Ah, Drake, yes. What wine would you suggest we have with dinner? Oh, pour me a manzanilla, will you?
Certainly, madam. It's not a complicated menu, madam. With tartelette aux fruits de mer, a Johannesburger, or a good Chablis, a Domaine de Chevalier, with a rôti de veau, a Médoc, Léoville Lascaz, or a Latour.
Well, which of the Medocs do you prefer?
It's a very personal choice, don't you think, madam?
Well, be personal, Drake.
The Lascaz, madam. For its body, an intensely individual bouquet.
Thank you, Drake.
Thank you, madam.
It was not Rapallo.
It was Rapallo.
It was Beirut. There was Boris.
And Gerda. It was the Carlton, and you kept the band playing until dawn.
And then we went on dancing.
Without music. Look, with Max arriving tomorrow, why don't we give Gerda a call and ask her to stay for a few days? She's in Rome now.
Are you thinking of Max? Or of yourself, my darling?
All right, forget Gerda. Why don't we talk about Boris?
Yes, certainly. Let's talk about Boris. Boris is well worth talking about.
What's his latest on the market? Oil, engineering, mines, shipping. We'll have some more grapes, Drake.
Yes.
I'd like some more grapes too, please, Drake.
Certainly, madam.
I don't suppose you realize that as a result of Boris's last tip, thank you, I made 20,000.
I can't understand anyone with 10 million worrying about 20,000.
I can't imagine someone who's never done a stroke of work in his life criticizing someone who's made their own fortune.
I'll have some black coffee, please, Drake, with a brandy.
Yes.
I'd like a Cointreau, please. No coffee.
Certainly, madam. Would you like your brandy in a balloon or a liqueur glass, sir?
Do I have your permission to drink your brandy, my love?
He prefers it in a balloon, Drake. One gets a more generous measure that way, doesn't one, my darling?
You know, I don't know why you ever married me.
You hypnotized me, darling. Thank you, Drake. That'll be all.
Yes, loud and clear. Edwards has just contacted me with some important news. A private detective has been making inquiries about your being in service with Lady Bassington.
Did Edwards cover up satisfactorily?
I think so. He managed to bluff them. But if they persist, you're obviously finished.
Yes. It also looks as though we're onto something, doesn't it? Over and out.
Come in. Drake?
Yes, madam.
Ah. Did you tell my husband I wanted to see him?
I did indeed, madam.
And where is he then?
I've no idea, madam. Still in his room, I imagine. The mail, madam?
Oh, just put it down over there, please.
Might I say something, madam?
What is it, Drake?
I hope you'll forgive me for saying this, madam. I was rather shocked to learn from Mr. Vere, Lady Bassington's secretary, that you'd hired a private detective to make inquiries about me.
Make inquiries about you, Drake?
Yes, you see, Lady Bassington is somewhat fragile, madam, and I'm sure...
But this is nonsense. I haven't sent anyone to investigate you. This is ridiculous.
In that case, I apologize, madam. Naturally, I assumed...
This is rather interesting, Drake. Why should someone employ a private detective to look into your past?
If you know nothing about it, madam, I have absolutely no idea. Excuse me, madam, I should answer that. Thank you so much.
Monsieur Joton.
Ah, merci. Un moment. Merci bien.
Merci, monsieur. Au revoir. Au revoir, monsieur.
Secretary clear Drake, but evasive. Difficult to contact Lady Bassington. Do you require absolute confirmation Drake's employment? Carrington.
I'm not disturbing you, Drake.
Ah, there you are, sir. I've been looking for you all over the place. This cablegram's just arrived for you, sir. Everything here is disgracefully dusty. I'll have it cleaned up for you right away.
Oh, no, you won't, Drake. And how did you get in here?
I simply knocked and entered.
Did you now?
Yes, I know it's your private room, but I thought the cable might be urgent, sir.
Tell me, how did you get through a locked door?
It wasn't locked, sir. That's what surprised me. I felt certain you would be here. Not bad news, I hope, sir.
Why do you ask that?
Well, telegrams and cables I always associate with bad news, sir.
I don't think you need concern yourself too much, Drake.
May I go, sir?
No, Drake, you may not.
No.
Gives atmosphere, don't you think? Choose your machine.
My machine, sir.
Yes, the other day when we were shooting, it was a draw. I thought it was about time we decided who was the winner.
Am I allowed to practice laps, sir?
Oh, yes, indeed. 10 laps for 500.
Yeah.
Call.
Call for what, sir?
Peel you first to decide who takes the inside leg.
Peel.
Thus. Well, take your practice lap.
Which thing is it, sir?
Oh, that's yours.
Thank you so much, sir.
I like a good competitor. That's why I like you, Drake. I was impressed by your shooting the other day. Impressed and surprised. You're obviously a person who commands respect. Yes, you have to watch that bend.
Yes.
Yes. But you seem to have got the hang of it. Now then, there's my Ferrari on the inside lane. 10 laps, right?
Right, sir.
There's a lap counter to keep you in the picture. We start on 3. Right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Nice. 1, 2, go.
Yes. As you said, sir, one has to watch that bend.
Yes, we've never had a servant quite like you, Drake. I'll say it's an expensive experience.
I guess.
Yes, you may, Drake.
Thanks.
Darling,
Yes?
I think we, ought to get rid of Drake.
That surprises me. Didn't I see you shooting with him?
Yes. Yes, you did. Now, he's a good shot, and he has a certain charm. But there's a certain underlying insolence, don't you find?
No, as a matter of fact, I don't.
Oh. I found him in my den, going through my papers.
Did you now? Is that why you hired a detective agency to investigate him?
What do you know about that?
I know everything, my love, don't I? It's so useless to try and hide things from me.
Anyway, I want you to sack him.
With Max coming tomorrow and the Websters at the end of the week? No, my love, no. I find Drake perfectly satisfactory. I don't wish to discuss it further. Drake stays.
You have the most unsubtle way of putting me in my place.
I treat you with the respect you deserve, my love.
Vernon calling, Vernon calling. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Over.
I'm hearing you. Over.
Concerning Max Dell, he's a junior minister. He's just returned from Sudaka and attended a special cabinet meeting on what course of action to take concerning the unrest there. He's certainly in possession of highly confidential information, but the report on him states he's completely trustworthy and with a reputation beyond reproach.
Beyond reproach. I wonder. So I trust you had a comfortable journey, sir?
Yes, I did, thank you. You're new here, aren't you?
Yes, sir. The name's Drake. John Drake. I'm Ross's replacement.
Oh, and what happened to Ross?
He had to leave suddenly, sir. His mother was very ill, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Poor Ross.
Yes. Well, I'll arrange to have your things unpacked for you, sir.
Oh, don't bother. I can manage that myself.
In that case, I'll find Mr. Jordan and tell him you've arrived.
I imagine with all the Sadaka trouble that you wouldn't be able to make it, Max.
Well, nobody's indispensable, I'm happy to say. I hope you're going to give me some shooting now I'm here, Basil.
You bet. One of our tenant farmers has been complaining that wild boar have been running riot over his land. I said we'd take a day on his side of the forest and clear some of them out.
Well, that's interesting. I've never had a crack at wild boar.
By the way, since you were last here, I've discovered a real competitor.
Oh, who's that?
Drake, our new man. He took 5 plays in a row.
Did he? Well, I must say, he hasn't got that limp rigidity that most butlers have, has he?
No. There's an interesting story there. Look, Max, I've just remembered. Will you excuse me? I've got an appointment.
Of course, go ahead. I'll go in search of Claudia.
As you do that.
How is she?
Oh, she's...
Things are certainly hotting up. Jordan's just kept a secret meeting in the forest, and guess who we met? Our old friend, Zeppos, the one who gave me so much trouble in Iraq a couple of years ago. He deals in secret information and sells to the highest bidder, so now we know that Jordan is our man. What we don't know is how he gets information from people like Max Dell. That I intend to discover at the very earliest. Over and out.
Well, if we're going off on this wild boar chase tomorrow, I think I'm going to retire. Poor Max.
But Max is looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to getting Max to myself. Good night, my precious. Oh, it's been so wonderful having you here. So gay and so amusing. Such fun. Such a change. When Basil gives his time, we must have a long tete-a-tete, huh?
I'm looking forward to that too, Claudia, now.
Yes, good night.
Good night.
Drake?
Yes, madam?
Good night.
Good night, madam.
Really, Max, you know, you're quite outrageous. You make love to my wife and my back isn't even turned.
Well, turn it over.
Now, let's have a turn with the cars in the den. Hmm?
Well, I hope you've got plenty of money on you. I'm feeling very lucky tonight.
Oh. You mustn't let Claudia go to your head.
But you have to allow me a couple of practice laps.
Of course, there's that.
Well, I suppose it's still the Lotus and the Ferrari?
Yes, yes, we'll toss up in the usual way.
Yes, and that means that you will get the Ferrari.
They're not exactly the same, I promise you.
All the same, I hope I get the Ferrari. His reputation helps, if nothing else.
Well, you shall have it.
don't be too sporty. Might cost you quite a bit.
What is it, Drake?
I wanted to ask Mr. Dell about his breakfast, sir. Will you take it in your room, Mr. Dell?
Yes, please, Drake.
May I pour those drinks for you, sir?
No, thank you. That'll be all, Drake.
What are you having for breakfast, sir?
Oh, just coffee, toast, and marmalade. I don't have much appetite in the mornings, I'm afraid.
Do you like your toast well done, sir?
Quite crisp, please.
Orange or lemon marmalade?
Oh, it's a material.
Do you like cream or milk in your coffee, sir?
Milk, please.
I forgot to ask, do you take fruit juice, sir?
Yes, orange juice, please.
Right, sir. What time, sir?
Oh, say 8:30.
8:30 it is. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, Drake. He is efficient, isn't he? Never known a chap for so much detail.
Yes. He's too damned efficient for my liking. For 2 pins, he'll be back again about something else.
Well, of course, your centrifugally operated device increased the clutch pressure as the engine speed rose and transmitted to a separate 4-speed gearbox and open propeller shaft.
Really? I say, do you think we could have a bit of window open? Suddenly very hot for some reason.
Of course, my dear fellow.
I had a Type 35 once. What workmanship. Hand-built, of course. Put your foot down, it damn nearly went into orbit. Now, what about 20 laps?
I'm awfully sorry, Basil. I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me. I feel terribly sleepy.
It's the traveling, old boy. It always has that effect.
But tomorrow we'll have a serious encounter. I just can't keep my eyes open.
Go to bed, Max. Go to bed.
I think I'd better. Otherwise I shall fall asleep on my feet.
Here we are. You sure you're all right?
Good night's sleep.
That's right. That's what you want. A good night's sleep. Good night, old boy.
Night.
Max, I'm your friend. Do you understand? You're quite safe with me. Quite relaxed. I want you to hear me, Max. You can hear me, can't you? When you hear me, I want you to speak quite freely. Do you understand, Max? I want you to hear me now. Now, do you understand, Max? You can hear me, can't you?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Good, Max. Now listen very carefully and tell me what did Sir John say about Sudaka?
Sudaka?
Yes, Sudaka, Max. What did Sir John say about Sudaka?
Yes. The situation deteriorates. Strong line will be.
If the situation deteriorates, a strong line must be taken. What action, Max? What action will be taken?
14th Airborne.
What is the 14th Airborne going to do, Max? What is it going to do?
Emergency standby. 2 bomber squadrons.
2 bomber squadrons on emergency standby. Are they ready for immediate action, Max?
2 bomber squadrons. Sinclair. 14th Airborne.
14th Airborne. Thank you, Max. Good. Now you're going to forget all about this little talk. Do you understand? You're going to forget all about it, Max.
Yes. I'll forget all about it.
Now you're going into a deep and forgetful sleep, Max. You're very tired, very relaxed. You're very tired, Max. Tired.
Come in.
Morning, madame.
Good morning.
Thank you. Morning, madam.
Good morning, Drake.
A pleasant day.
Yes.
What are the arrangements for luncheon, madam? Are you in, or would you like me to prepare something to be brought out to you?
No, we'll be coming back.
Yes, fine.
My wrap, please.
Certainly, madam. Madam?
Thanks.
Madam.
Oh, one moment, Drake.
Yes.
Good morning, my love.
Good morning.
I thought we might take Drake out with us shooting this morning.
Oh, why?
Well, because he's an excellent shot, and we need every gun we can muster.
Would you like that, Drake?
I should like very much indeed, madam.
Then you shall go.
Thank you, madam. So? Good morning.
Morning. Zephos.
Drake, you come with me. We'll take the right flank.
Oh, very good, sir.
Mr. Zephos is getting out of line, sir. Don't you think he's rather far behind?
Is he, Drake?
Yes, if something were to break cover now and he fired without due care, there might be an unpleasant accident.
Zephos is an excellent shot. I don't think he's likely to miss his target.
If you say so, sir, but I can't help feeling a little uneasy. I believe we have an interest in common.
Really? What's that, Drake?
Hypnotism, fascinating subject.
How did you know that I was interested in hypnotism?
I was looking through your scrapbooks.
Oh, did I leave my door unlocked again?
I always carry my skeleton keys. I came across one of your old press-cutting books, and there was an excellent review there on a hypnotic act you did in an amateur show when you were up at Oxford.
Yes, I had a certain talent.
You still have, and modern drugs make your task all the more simple and sure, don't they? All these files were filled yesterday. Today, you see, you've learned how to cash in on your talent, haven't you?
Please explain this fantasy of yours, Drake.
Mrs. Jordan was to kick you out. You wouldn't exactly be in the dirt, would you, Jordan?
What are you talking about?
And then there's your friend Zephos. We know all about him. He sells your secrets, doesn't he? He's an old hand of the game.
Well, I must say, you... Get him, Zephos! Did you get him?
I don't know. He moves so fast. We take no chances. You go around there. I go this way.
The hunting season is over. I regret to be dining alone this evening, madam, and for some considerable time.